I did a video on, Iggy Azalea attacking Beyonce for quote unquote reverse racism. And I mentioned in that video that I felt like the Lemonaid record that Beyonce was basically, putting it out there or alluding to the fact of Jay-Z cheating could be dangerous. And the reason I said that is because the media loves to destroy black marriages and the black family structure. I mean, we can go all the way back to, the 70s when, you had welfare that was at an extreme. You had a lot of guys who were being pushed out of the family household, which is why now we got a lot of these single parent households going on right now within our community, meaning the black community, that is affecting our children. I would say especially our young black males. But they love to break up the black family structure, whether it's the prison industrial complex, whether it's systematically casting out the black male out of the workforce, whether it's, sending us to the army. And I can go on and on. Racism, welfare, demeaning us throughout the media or television, corrupting our children, black children, and black women's minds to think that we're all shiftless and lazy and don't want to do anything or don't want to protect our wives, our family. So it's a lot of different moving parts out here to how the media and people who practice white supremacy try to destroy the black family. And when you come out here and you allude to the fact of Jay-Z possibly cheating on you, or you guys got issues or whatever, you're somewhat playing into what they want you to play into. Now, I said the other day, this can be a complete lie. Their marriage could be perfect because, as I said before, I work in the music industry and I know different marketing tactics. I know certain things that artists do and artists will say in order to sell records. And the thing you have to understand about, the music industry now and marketing yourself, you have to get the consumer to buy into you as a person. The days where you just drop a hot album and, people just like you strictly off of the music, that's not really going to give you a heavy push nowadays. Yeah, you might move a couple of units or whatever, but you're not going to get that big push from your audience unless they buy into you as a person. And when I say that, what I mean by is that the consumer has to feel like they can relate to you. They have to feel like that you're somebody who represents them. And we all got women and men out here who have been cheated on or, might be going through something in their marriage right now or relationship. And because Beyonce and Jay-Z keep their marriage so private, which I give them nothing but respect on that, because I think, especially nowadays, you need to keep your personal life private. You can't let social media and everybody know who you're dealing with, who you're having sex with, who you're dating, who you're in a relationship with, etc., etc. You can't do that nowadays because you got so many different sources for people to have their own opinion about it and basically mess your situation up. So in a time like that, you have to keep everything personal, but then from a business perspective, you have to find a way where people can relate to it. Like I said, because they keep the relationship so private, Beyonce might say, you know what, I'm going to say this. This is going to get the women on the bandwagon with my album. They're going to go out and support it or listen to the record or whatever because they can personally relate to it. And then you have the guy consumers who might not, mess with Beyonce like that are going to say, let me listen to the album, see if she's giving away anything else. Let's see what's really going on in their lives. So this could all be fake. It could be a marketing scheme. But if it is true, I think she needs to be very careful about the things she says and the things that she portrays throughout the media, these interviews, or even within her music. Now, I'm all for being able to express yourself in music. That's why, I get somewhat irritated when people try to attack gangster rap, because I feel like, yes, there's certain things that these guys are playing into that are negative stereotypes, but at the same time, people have to realize that we all come from different backgrounds, different neighborhoods, different lifestyles, and this is a lot of these guys' past or present lifestyle. So to say, okay, well, I don't want you to talk about the streets or gangster rap, you know, that you're basically limiting their artistry. But that's a whole nother video. But, you know, I digress from that. But just, I'm all for people being able to express themselves and giving artists the ability to expand their horizons and talk about personal things that they might have gone through or going through currently. So I'm all for that. But at the same time, I think when you start touching on, you know, the black children or your marriage or relationships, or even sometimes things that go on within the community, whether it's positive or negative, you have to be very careful of the words that you choose, because the words that you choose can, one, play into what these racist ass white folks want you to play into through the media, or two, you can alienate people from your community, or three, you can be adding negativity to the black community your own self. And that's what Cosby did, getting in front of, you know, mixed company, running off at the mouth, and basically shooting down his own people. So you have to be very careful with the words that you use and things that you say, especially in, you know, doing social media or on national platforms, because a lot of people do not think about the things that they say, and it ends up biting them in the ass. So, you know, that's my 2 cents on this whole Lemonaid thing. You know, the record was cool. You know, it was interesting. I'm not really a big Beyonce fan, although, you know, I think she does make very good music, but just my demographic is not who she really caters to. But you know, I just think she needs to be very careful, you know, about the things that she displays in her music, and, you know, her possible issues with Jay-Z. Because they love to break it up. I'm telling you, they got a child now. They love to see this. Ask Ray Rice. Ask Bobby and Whitney. Ask anybody else who is black that's had their relationship broadcast through a public forum. Ask them how the media and people get down. But I'm out. Peace.